Cubans whose families have been tortured and slaughtered by tyrants and bullies, fleeing them for freedom in the United States. Like bullies? Is CNN really this stupid? I don't know. It's their words. Just ask them. For those of you who missed my show yesterday and missed the story, James O'Keefe runs Project Veritas. He somehow managed to gain access to CNN executive staff, their C-suite conference calls every morning. So whether someone sent them the dial-in number, the passcode, I have no idea. But O'Keefe was on these conference calls for months. He is an investigative journalist, and he had recorded these calls. These calls are devastating. He's been dropping them hour by hour. I want to play two that are really devastating. Here's the first one. This is from a CNN conference call where this is just openly racist. I'm sorry. This isn't me playing the leftist, typical racist, misogynist, histophobic, phobophobe game where they call people racist for political gain. This is literally racist. There's a woman on this CNN call who basically says if you're Cuban and you voted for President Trump, it's because you like bullies. You do? Really? Because I live in South Florida. I don't know where this CNN lady who's talking on this conference call lives. Maybe she lives in South, maybe she doesn't. I don't know, but I actually live here. And one of my neighbors happens to be Cuban, whose family were refugees. And Joe, you know who they were fleeing? Bullies and murderers. So it's kind of offensive and racist to stigmatize. Joe, just checking here. I need to rely on Joe a little bit today, folks. You probably get what's going on. But Joe, wouldn't you say it's the very definition of racism to judge an entire group of people, the Cubans, air quotes, and suggest they all have a characteristic that's malignant, that they like bullies? I'm just checking. That sounds kind of racist, right?
That's pretty racist, Dano.
Thank you, Paul. Is that pretty racist? Yeah. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Again, Meatloaf style. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Was that from Bat Out of Hell? I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty confident that's racist, suggesting that Cubans love bullies when most Cubans fled Cuba, who came to the United States as refugees, to get away from bullies that were like killing them, torturing their families, and stealing their businesses. Kind of racist, though. So let's listen to this, and let's see. This is CNN. This is how they feel about Cuban voters. Check this out.
According to Senior Vice President of CNN, Cynthia Hudson, recorded on Jeff Zucker's 9 a.m. telephone call at CNN, the reason that Cubans voted for Trump is because they're attracted to bullies. Check this out.
Trump has used the communism, socialism rhetoric as part of his hook for the Cubans in Miami. How that has resonated and how the Biden team has not done enough to counter that. This is all that the only reason they are supporting Trump is because of that narrative. And that narrative and the fact that, sadly, I have to say, there's a population that is very attracted to bullies, and no one is countering it properly. In Florida, the Cubans are going to vote for Trump, and that's terrifying. And so I think that there is a way to counter the narrative in Florida that is not being taken advantage of.
Jeez.
Folks, again, I'm not kidding. I don't, sometimes we sarcastically kind of counter the left's stupid identity politics game. I'm being really serious here. I'm not kidding to the audience who you have our email, you email us, you correspond via social media and elsewhere. Please explain to me how that's not a racist statement. You don't know all Cubans. I'm reasonably confident. Joe, do you know all Cubans? Have you met them all? Paul, have you met them all?
Is there a group not yet, no.
There's not a Cuban intro center where you go into and you meet every single Cuban. You got to get a ticket. I'm here to meet the Cubans. Hey, quick story. I know I'm wearing you guys out with the stories. I get it. Paula, remember Politicon? We were in the van with Malcolm Nance going back, and he goes, I speak for all, what did he say? I speak for all black voters. I'm like, you do? You met all black voters? Is there a black voter intro center? I'm here to meet black voters. Everyone come out. Hello, I'm Malcolm. Remember that? We were looking at him in the van. We're like, he's a liberal, of course. We're like, is this guy crazy? That's a racist statement. Cubans like bullies? Cubans like bullies. Cubans who've actually, on a very deadly serious note, that's not hyperbole. Cubans whose families have been tortured and slaughtered by tyrants and bullies, fleeing them for freedom in the United States. Like bullies? Is CNN really this stupid? I don't know. It's their words. Just ask them.
You just heard Dan Bongino.